Hi, I'm Lucy Thomas and I am the Head of PR and Communications. A little bit about myself. I worked in sales, marketing and PR for 20 years now and I kind of fell into it, but it's fun. So on International Women's Day, it's more important for me every year to support, encourage, celebrate and raise women in our actions as well as our words every day, whether it's people around us, people we can follow on Twitter and other social media and just celebrate. My proudest achievement while working at Stubben is actually a personal one, in having the belief in myself and what I do to ask for a pay rise to reflect the value of the work that I do. And that was a big deal for me last year. International Women's Day and Inspirational Women are big for me. And in fact, two women have mentored me in totally different ways. My mother had her own business since I was about 7. I saw her daily work-life balance, her determination to be successful and to build a great life with all of us, obviously my dad and my sister, balancing dogs, families, grandparents, the whole works. And my other mentor is Joe Watchman, who's the MD of Content Comms and Work in Mind I used to work for. And Joe leads by just doing, by challenging the team to show up every day, to be authentic and have integrity. And I think I aspire to bring the strength of both those women into the work I do with people every day. And importantly, the most important message I think I want to send to young women about their careers, particularly my nieces who are 18 and nearly 16, keep trying. You don't necessarily know what you want to do. I certainly didn't. You'll have setbacks, but you will learn from those, and you're not to be afraid of those. Celebrate yourself and other women. Support each other every day. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And finally, for everyone, really be kind. It takes nothing to be kind.
So my name's Agnes. I am the Associate Director of Marketing for brands, so all of the Stubben Edge brands, including DiversityQ, smallbusiness.co.uk, growthbusiness.co.uk, Information Age, Pinpoint, Aconi, so yeah, all of it. What does it mean to me? I'm a woman. It's important to celebrate it because just to acknowledge and celebrate the achievement of women all over the world, from workplace to home, to school, to wherever. It's important that we celebrate it. So that means a lot to me.
Today?
Oh, my mommy. I am so blessed to be surrounded by so many inspirational, strong women. From my mum, who basically is my role model and mentor, to my friends, my aunties, my colleagues. So it's impossible to not be inspired by so many women because there's so many great women out there. And the ones in my life are just amazing. So I think it's important to ask lots of questions, be curious, just because it's been done or hasn't been done doesn't mean it cannot be changed or be done. So be curious, ask lots of questions, find somebody you admire, preferably someone that is in a role that you would want to be in, and ask them how they got there. Ask them how they got to the status that they are. Find what the day-to-day of this person looks like. And finally, the world doesn't like feedback. People don't like feedback, but I think it's important to accept every kind of feedback going into the career, and just learn from other people that have gone ahead of you. So.
Hi there, I'm Tanya Ferreira, Director of Events here at Stubben Edge Group. I'm Portuguese South African. I love traveling, meeting new people, sports, dancing, and essentially everything that life has to offer. Let's be real. Why International Women's Day is so important? Well, it brings about awareness. It's an opportunity to celebrate the brilliant achievements that women have done. It's really felt so deeply within the work that we do and the events that we host within our portfolios, Women in series in particular. We want to amplify the message and the importance of International Women's Day. We don't want it to just be one day. We want to show off all the amazing things that women have done and are doing and continue to do. Days and initiatives like these are here to inspire, to highlight role models, and to show support and remind women of their greatness. Oh gosh, my proudest achievement here at Stubben Edge, one of the biggest achievements I would say is rebuilding the team. The team that we have is amazing. The morale, the motivation and excitement there is for this year is in full force. And we know there will be trials and tribulations, but with this team, we know that we can count on each other and we will get things done. Everyone's really in it, they want to succeed, they want to work and have an impact and have a purpose to what they're doing. It's impressive and it's amazing. A massive shout out to the team. Thank you. Well, there are a lot of brilliant women that have been out there and more of a famous global figures lens that have supported what I've been doing from a distance, but I really want to highlight those that are closer to home, my mom and my grandmother. My grandparents immigrated to South Africa from Portugal, and they almost went with nothing to work so hard to build something for themselves and their families, to give them basically what they never had. My grandmother was a self-made entrepreneur. She made sweaters to sell at mines and at construction sites that were very much linked with what my grandfather was working in. And she worked since the age of 12 years old to support herself and her siblings after my great-grandmother passed away at a very young age. She was resourceful, she's intelligent, she's kind and giving, and she became a brilliant businesswoman. My mom was a first generation to go into university and finish high school. She faced racism because of her nationality and social class, but she proved her friends, her teachers, her naysayers very wrong. She went on to become a teacher, the international principal of a school in Portugal, and a Cambridge examiner and officer. So she also worked so very hard to give her family what she didn't have and prepare us, her daughters, for the world that we may be in. Both of these women have given me so much, and they really are the motivators for me to work hard, to continue fighting for what's right, and to live by what I believe, aiming high and dreaming big, because we can achieve it. Oh gosh, this is such a great question. I don't think there's just one message I'd like to leave. From what I've learned in my experience in my career, what I would say to you is stand up for yourself. Remember that progression is not a straight line. There will be bumps along the way and you will need to adapt. I also encourage you to take calculated risks and don't hold yourself back. Go for the opportunities. Perfectionism does not exist. Every experience is an opportunity and you should take it and embrace it as an opportunity to learn and grow. And finally, celebrate the wins. We often move so quickly and dismiss them and we go on to the next task. Take a moment, celebrate it, and give yourself the kudos that you deserve.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Cole and I'm the editor of Diversity Q, which advises companies on their ESG and diversity and inclusion strategies through sharing news, thought leadership guides and research. I've been a journalist for over 25 years and I've worked mostly covering the financial sector, but I've also spent a long time advising internal corporate communications in pharma and banking. But before that, becoming a journalist, I was an optician where I honed a lot of my selling skills. I'm an avid reader and a perpetual learner, and I must sign myself up for at least one course every other week, it feels like. I've travelled the world covering music festivals and pretending to write about the best places to stay, but right now, to unwind, I prefer to design and create knitwear. The more you get to know me, the more you realise that I care deeply about people and how they are treated. Having faced many forms of discrimination in my career, not just as a woman, but also due to my race and age, I think it's really important that women are recognised for their outstanding contributions to society and the workplace. You know, women make up about 57% of the working population, but hold just 25% of C-suite positions and only 5% of CEO positions at the world's largest companies. That has to change for several reasons, but mainly for the future of work. For businesses to be successful in years to come, they have to eliminate groupthink and bring in other perspectives to serve better the changing face of their stakeholders, customers, employees, and therefore hit the bottom line. It's also the right thing to do. Why shouldn't my talent be rewarded and recognised? It's a fact that women have to work twice as hard and long to achieve the same as men in the workplace. So my proudest moment since being at Stubben Edge is co-hosting the Women in IT Awards in Canada and the USA. They were so successful and it was a huge amount of fun. The audiences were truly welcoming and engaged, which has led us to lots of interest in the events taking place later this year. That would have to be my mother. My parents lived and worked on 2 continents when I was growing up, and my mum single-handedly showed me what it is not only to dream big, but to achieve your goals. She encouraged me not to let anyone put me in a box, keep me down, or from doing what I wanted to do. She opened my eyes to so many experiences and situations from a very young age, and you wouldn't have thought possible for a black family in the 70s and 80s. She even went on to study law and pass the bar in her 60s, so huge footsteps to follow in. If I had to name somebody else, it would be Maya Angelou, who taught me what it was to be a strong black woman. Follow your dreams. It may not be easy, but it will be worth it. When I was in school, my career advisor told me journalism wasn't a role for someone like me. Not because of my grades. What she meant was that it was a career for white men from a socially privileged background and education, not a young black girl from North London who had been to a comprehensive school. So because of that, I became an optician. And even when I decided to follow my dreams 5 years later and retrain, so many people told me I was crazy because they didn't see people like me in that space. I did it anyway. I won't go into all the instances of imposter syndrome that I felt or the microaggressions that I experienced and still do to some extent today, but journalism has led me to so many wonderful experiences and career opportunities.
My name is Gemma Jarrett. I'm Director of Networks at Stubben Edge. I'm originally from a place called Hillsborough in Northern Ireland. I'm 35 years old. I have a little girl called Rosie who's 2. I went to university in Leeds and I've lived in London for, like 13 years now, I think. International Women's Day, I personally feel we want to celebrate women and the success of women's careers and lives and what they've achieved. And I think more and more as I've got older and realizing that you want your daughters and your granddaughters and your nieces and your sisters to feel empowered and to feel that they can do and be whatever they want to be. And that should be encouraged, and it'll bring more role models and more success stories within business and life. I've been at Stubben Edge now for over 14 months, and it's not necessarily a proudest moment. I am actually just really proud of what I've achieved since I've joined, both personally and professionally. I joined off the back of coming off maternity leave and having my daughter, and went from a big corporate to effectively a startup. And what we've done in the last 14 months since I've been here, I'm really proud of. I came in, we set up the AR, the Appointed Representative Network. I've been involved in numerous acquisitions that we've done over the past year and just really helped grow the company and build the business up. Just rolling your sleeves up, getting stuck in, but also being empowered by Chris effectively to do that and really feeling like you're adding value to the company and being part of it, which I just love that feeling. And I think alongside that comes, for me, from a personal perspective of being a role model to other women in the industry, people looking to get into insurance and trying to encourage those to have a career within this sector, that it can be done. You know, you can have it all. You can have the personal life, kids, and the career. That shouldn't be a barrier. So I don't think there's one person in particular, because if you look at it, if I look at my life from, you know, a little girl all the way up to who I am at the moment, I think I'm really blessed and privileged to have been surrounded by women like my mum, my granny, my sister, my auntie, who all worked and were all quite, all very hardworking and ambitious, and sort of never really felt like there was any limitations. So I felt like you could do everything. You know, we were both in work and sport. They were all really sporty, you know, and that encouraged me as well in that side to, you know, go and play tennis, go and play badminton to whatever level that you can and achieve. And that is translated as well in the workplace. So those people and my family have really supported and encouraged me in that regard. And I feel in workplace, I've always tried to surround myself with women who I respect, who are successful, who I can take a lot from and learn from. One of the things I noticed in particular in this industry was the lack of role models when I started, the lack of women sitting on execs and boards who were married, who had a family as well. So that really rung true. I wanted to find people within the sector, and I went and I sought out those people because they do exist. That how do you do it? And I want to be able to have both. I want to be able to have the family, and I want to be able to have a successful career. And I did, and one of them in particular, Claire McDonald, who is very senior in HDI Global Insure, and has been, you know, an excellent mentor, and being part of networks that have a lot of successful women that you can call upon, who support you with anything, any issues, any questions, no judgments. That's really important, and I would really give that as a piece of advice, is seek out people to be your mentor. It's so invaluable. Think about financial services. I'm really passionate about this industry. There's not enough women. We need more, and we also just need more young graduates or apprentices, school leavers coming in to this industry and making it future-proof and sustainable, making it better, making it easier to do business. And yeah, we want you to be part of that. I think it's got such good career opportunities. It can take you to all over the world, and you can really make a difference and be a role model for other women, for daughters that you may have. Definitely consider it.
So I'd like to take this opportunity now to wish you all a very happy International Women's Day. Let's keep fighting the good fight and representing and supporting each other where we can.
I want to wish all of you, all the fantastic women out there, a happy and wonderful International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Here is wishing everybody all the women around the world, including myself, a happy International Women's Day.
I actually want to say, to all the women, I hope who are watching, and to all the men as well, and I have a lot of close men in my life, colleagues, people in my immediate team, people in our broader team in Stubben Edge, people from sporting teams that I've worked with and supported, and huge family and friends. Celebrate the women every day and just raise each other up and be kind, go for it, be brave and enjoy today. It's a good day.